he is just paralyzed.
He's like, So we're back with the climactic end of.
Sorry.
There's something about
The
Marie.
subject matter of the whole night. Climatic.
Ooh. And it wasn't her hair.
No. Nope.
So, at this point, Brian and Bertie head down the stairs, through the tower, out into the night. And as you come outside, you can see the boat has been brought up, of course, on the side of the shore. And you can see a figure out on the jetty looking kind of waiting, I guess you could say. Kind of, you see his back as he's looking up the river, and his face is very, very pale, as is his arms, clearly in Zacharias. He has a codex tucked beneath of his arm, and there's this ship kind of along the river, kind of coming through this kind of rolling mist, and you can see the swinging lanterns coming back and forth. And up on the mast, you can see these two trouts leaping out of the water.
Fucking Christ.
At the prow of the ship is this man who's standing with kind of one boot forward with a silver spur in the moonlight, and he's holding a torch like this, and you can see his polished breastplate, his big thick cop stash, and his conical looking helmet, and his cape kind of whipping behind him in a cold autumn light. And there are two other reeves on that ship as well. The two of you come to a stable and kind of steal one of the horses to abscond away. Theft is a 3 corruption act for the both of you.
That's fine.
Horse thieves, the worst
I
type.
think birthing a demon is more corruption than that, so I'll take it.
So the two of you come to the horse, and you both mount on the same horse, take 2 separate horses.
I have rides, so I would prefer him being mine.
Okay. So she hops up and holds her arm down toward you and pulls you up on the back. And that's when you hear this voice
Oh.
in your head, Brian.
Oh no.
Comb her hair. I would like my servant.
You hear this voice that says, "Come to me. Come to me."
I'm gonna see if her lips are moving.
No.
Like, did you hear anything?
No.
The
I
horse
hear
clops
things.
back and forth in the mud because the horse whinnies as you realize it's trying to buck the two of you off.
Great.
Before we get to that, though, we will cut back to
We're gonna kill me because they're right over here.
at this point where Felix, Calloway, and Clarence and Kozel are all stepping outside. And of course, Clarence is looking for Marie. And you're looking around and you're not really sure where she's at. Your eyes kind of look toward the jetty where you can see the back of Zacharias' head and his pale skin.
I give it a big whiff. I have the ancestral trait 7th sense.
Okay. You remember that she smelled of perfumes and lilac. That orange peel smell, her perfume in the, in the brothel. And you can see that lean, that's right, you can see smell, and you see it kind of twisting and moving up toward the muddy rut of a road that heads towards Sigmund's Flats. You wish to head that way.
I can't leave my friends here. But I'm just wondering in my head why she isn't here.
That is a great question. That brings us now to Calloway
You're not my buddy, pal.
and Felix and Kozel. You all step outside the tower, and you can see that from here, Zacharias is completely unawares that you're even nearby. You're probably about 15, 20 yards at best. Simply a short jaunt across a muddy rut onto the planks of the dock and then out on the jetty, and you'd be right on top of him. He'd be completely unaware that you're even there. So starting with Kozel.
I would call out to Calloway and Felix. Zachariah's got to go. And I'll reach into my cloak and I'll pull out my jar of tallow and I'll slick it between my fingers and I'll be like, you'll know the opportunity, just fucking take him out. Kozel's very serious in this, and his normal canter, it's not there.
So you want to wait then?
I want to move up on him.
Right
Okay.
now?
So you want to hustle toward him?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's about 15 yards out. What's your movement?
My movement is only 6, but that's okay. My intention is to move towards him and use cack-handed grasp on him.
Okay. Perfect. Right now?
Right now, like, don't
Okay.
fuck around. I'm dropping this asshole.
All right. So Kozel will move on to the dock about 6 yards out. He'll hustle forward for 1 AP, and you will cast your spell for another AP. And then you see the codex he's holding in his hand starts to move, and it drops into the water, bouncing off the dock, dropping into the water.
Son of a bitch.
It's 2 AP.
I would also like to note with Old Believer, it acts as critical,
Uh-huh.
also dropping
At the
him
same
to
time.
prone.
Oh no! So let's see what happens.
I knew it. You dirty old
Okay.
bastard.
Well, the bad thing is I failed my coordination test, so he would have fallen into the water. But I've got these.
Oh shit.
A misfortune point.
Okay.
Let's see what happens. That will succeed. 35.
Sorry.
So not only do you see him drop the codex, you see that he falls to the ground, or falls to the dock, kind of slamming against it. And that is Kozel's turn.
Yeah.
And that brings us to Ludo. As you're looking toward where the scent is going, you can see some fight breaking out. Boom, boom, there's gun smoke. You hear the sound of like a boom, boom sound of repeating, and you can see these 2 guns fire out as this small man, accompanied by 2 large greyhounds, are rushing toward Marie in the street. And Marie missed with both her shots. And Ludo is closing the distance at this point with the 2 animals. Ludo kind of slides through the mud, kind of coming to a stop, and pulls a crossbow and lobs a bolt. And Marie quickly ducks out of the way, scrambling across the mud, almost slipping onto the ground as her hat falls into the muck about 20 yards away. One of the dogs that is with her, named Hans, charges
Oh, boy.
forward viciously and snaps out at Marie's leg, pulling her to the ground, taking her off of her feet as both the pistols fall asplay in the middle of the corduroy road, just 20 yards up. The dog is snarling and attacking her. Birdie, you are now on horseback with Brian, and you must make a ride test because the horse is trying to buck the 2 of you off. This test is routine.
Yeehaw.
Am I able to train in it?
Are you trained to ride? Because you can assist for 0 A.
5.
5, nice. So she pulls on the reins and kicks the horse, and it drops onto all 4s. You've got control of the horse now. What will you do? You have 2 action points left.
Find a route out and away from the noises behind us.
So you're gonna. So the noises as in the sound of the pistol
Gun
shot.
Fire, yeah.
Okay, so you want to try to skirt around the town and actually leave into the forest?
Yeah.
So you need to follow the shoreline then, if that's the case. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
They begin breaking as you can see them leaving. The two of them are moving as fast as they possibly can. Zacharias, as he falls to the ground, you see his neck crane around, and you can feel this presence. Kozel. You could feel this power, I suppose, as the hackles on the back of your neck begin to stand straight up. And as that happens, he comes up on both feet for one action point because he's a skill ranking coordination. And as he proceeds to do that, he takes one look up the river. He takes one look back toward the lot of you, and his hands begin to weave in the air as he sets this slim statuette on the ground. And he begins to weave his hands. And what will happen? You will know in just one moment. Once I figure out what spell he's going to cast, because I don't have my spells in front of me.
It's okay if he forgets and like he just wants to hold until next round. That's cool.
Yeah, that's okay. He wants to cast weight. That's
Yes, it's a wonderful spell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh.
He wants to dump 3 AP into it. Wonderful.
Not only will he cast his spell, he will channel power. The
frick.
darkest of power, as he is going to cast Etheric Strapato
In situations like these where I kind
upon
of hate Kozel,
Kozel.
and I say that because it'd be much easier if I could just say I hate all casters.
Yes. Yes, it is terrible, terrible, terrible. Alright. And he's channeling for 1. Yeah, we'll throw it out here in front of everybody because, you know, that's how I roll.
Was nice.
He produces a 3-length yard of rope woven from the scalps of 9 prostitutes. His chances are 55% chance.
Holy shit.
And he rolled 45.
Well, it's not very hard for him to get this time.
So, as this happens, you see him pull the knot tight like that. And as he's holding it like such, suddenly Kozel's raising in the air as his hands are drawn back behind him and his legs as he's literally throttled, levitating in the air about a yard or so off of it, and you suffer.
You do suffer.
I do. I suffer very much.
It's 7 plus 17 physical peril.
Oh, fucking Christ.
And you are caught in a chokehold in the air through the use.
I am 1 step away from incapacitated.
That's not good.
His wrists are bound behind him, his legs drawn in the air as he's literally kind of strapped and drawn kind of in the air, like rising, hovering above the earth as he's throttling against it, trying to free himself. So now it is Franz's turn, and where you're at, Callaway, this snarling dog, not Hans, but Franz, begins rushing past Marie, snarling and hissing, its long legs carrying it down through the muddy, twisting corduroy road, and it comes toward you, charging.
No, get the old man.
Toward the old man. Toward Clarence, because he's the one who's there.
I mean, oh no.
I work for you, dude.
I'm sorry.
The dog's
Go
chance
for
to
it.
strike
But
is
not in
75% because it's charging.
Oh.
Oh, I should probably roll this instead of like the standard. It's 84, but I think I'll use this misfortune point to re-roll that. His chances are 75. And and that's a 0-5. Snap! He has a hold of you. You have no action points because your turn has not yet started. And you suffer. You suffer. 4 plus 3. 7 damage. You need to resist a takedown with a challenging coordination test.
Okay.
Clarence.
Lightly wounded. And coordination. Challenging coordination.
Challenging coordination.
That will put me at 30% chance to succeed. And that's a failure.
The teeth take you off your feet as the dog grabs you and begins dragging you across the ground as you are now prone on the ground. From here, Clarence, it is your turn.
Okay.
You were taken off your feet. The dog is snapping at you. Do you wish to stand?
Yes.
Okay. You hop back up quickly up on 2 feet for 2 AP.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
I got 1. So the dog is still on me, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna pull a cat out of my shoulder bag and throw it on the ground. Just a distraction.
Okay. Roll a guile test to make this trivial.
Okay.
That's fucking genius right there.
So that will make it a 85% chance to succeed.
yeah.
Oh my god.
That's a critical success.
Okay, I think we will refund both your action points, so you now have 2 action points.
All right.
The dog is clearly drawn away for just a few moments, giving you just some time to do what you wish to do. So you have 2 AP
How
left.
far away is Zachariah from me?
Well, he's pretty far at this point. Some 13, 15-ish yards. Kind of hard to see in the pall of night, given that you don't have any light.
Okay.
And he has no light. And there's a little bit of mist in the air. It is dark after all, but at least you have the starlight to see by, and the great gibbous moon, the mirror, is completely full.
I am going to.
The air is electric.
I'm gonna reach. I'm gonna take off my hat and reach inside. Let's roll the dice on this hat trick.
Okay. Your test will be routine.
Routine incantation is gonna be a 65%. No, 75%. Wait, let me get this right. 70% chance to succeed. And that is an 8. That is a success.
Okay. What comes out of the hat?
Porcupine.
Okay. Porcupine drops to the ground. Its quills bristling.
I didn't have a chance
Dripping
to
with
grab
ichor.
it in just the right way.
Sure, why not?
Okay.
What do you want to do with it?
I want to. Next round, I want to move over. I want to start
Next
moving
turn.
towards next
Okay.
turn.
Okay.
I'll make one movement, take an action point, and then throw it.
I'm sorry, what?
I'll take one movement and then take an action point to take an extra action.
So you want to hustle forward, use an action point to get an additional action point.
Yes.
Use a fortune point to get an additional. I take it.
And then
Fortune
throw.
point, please.
And then throw.
And you want to throw the porcupine at.
Zachariah.
What's your movement?
6.
Okay. So to throw something is 1 plus perception bonus.
Okay.
So if he is, call it 12 yards, he moves 6. He's
Okay.
now 6 yards.
My perception's 7.
That's right.
So I'm within range, right?
That's right.
All right.
It also means as you turn away from Franz, he'll make an opportunity attack against you.
Oh, I thought he was distracted. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
0-7.
Oof. Crunch.
4 plus 5 damage.
Ugh. Moderately wounded.
Roll a d6 chaos die.
2.
Okay, no injury. So, go ahead and throw the porcupine. This test will be standard.
It does have some sort of mutation. Anything crazy, weird?
I don't know, you tell me.
Okay. It's got 6 legs.
Such a handsome porcupine.
And this was, what was it again?
Routine.
Routine. Okay. So that will make a simple range 45% chance to succeed. That's another critical success.
Oh!
Yeah.
You know what? Go ahead and roll damage. This
Get
will
quilled,
be
sucker.
this will be Fury die plus your perception bonus.
Okay.
6.
All right.
Cool.
So
Six.
perception.
Zacharias.
Wow. So standard D6 plus the Fury die plus perception.
No.
Or just one?
1 Fury die
Okay.
plus your perception bonus.
Okay.
Just like it's an improvised weapon.
10.
10.
Yes.
Okay.
Great, man.
Wait, yes, 10.
Yeah, you're
Wow.
You did 10 points of animal damage? Just
with the fucking
hell, man.
Exploded a porcupine in a
So-
mantis face.
It's fucking
That-
awesome.
He is lightly wounded
Okay.
as the porcupine bristles out and scampers across the earth, hits him right in the arm, we'll assume, tearing a bit of his robes and
Assume
being
that's-
scurrying about his feet, which will cause hard terrain for him. But
Hopefully that's
otherwise,
distracting to him. In some
I-
way.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
6-legged porcupine in the face.
so that now brings us to Callaway. You are 12 yards out.
It's a tough choice.
But you
So
must
there's,
act quickly.
he put something on the ground.
This little slender statue.
Now I'm not a smart man, but I do know if that skeevy motherfucker put some goddamn weird object on the ground, that thing needs to get got. I will charge.
You cannot charge because it is hard terrain near him because of the mutated porcupine. But you may hustle twice toward him. I don't know, what's your movement?
My movement is 7.
So he's 12 yards away.
Yes,
so you
so I can get
hustle
to him.
twice, yes.
Okay.
But no advantage for charge, unfortunately.
Yes.
Sorry.
Because it is hard terrain.
Well, what if
Terrain.
I'm not going to him? What if I'm going to the statue?
It's right next to him.
It's right next to
It's in
you.
the engagement. It's in the
They're
engagement.
all on the slender, I would say probably the pier is about as wide as this table. So about 3 yards wide or so. Or 1 yard wide.
Still,
Six-legged porcupine runs
nonetheless,
around a lot.
I saw him put that down, and then after he put that down, then some weird googly moogly stuff started to happen to
Mm-hmm.
The juju happened, yeah.
the juju happened.
That's right.
So Callaway's gonna, running through the mud, can't get a full-on charge in, but will come running up and bring his heavy military boot down onto that weird juju statue.
Okay.
I don't understand what the hell this is.
As you do so,
But I don't need to understand it to want to smash
as you
forward.
approach, you hear this insidious whisper.
Clarence, get the fuck out of my head. I know it's you,
And
Clarence.
you hear this whisper that says, you shall know fear, for fear is all around the darkness. His chances to succeed
Okay.
are 60. 70. I think I'll re-roll that with a new misfortune point I just got my hands on.
You double screwed me, Clarence. I hate you so much.
I roll a 20.
Why do I?
And as you approach and you hear this insidious whisper, you can't help but feel this despair all around you as you drop one step down the peril condition track. Go ahead and make your attack.
I will.
This test is challenging.
Okay. I'm so.
Oh.
It got in my head so bad. I rolled 100.
Oh no!
Oh,
He stops,
I'm clearly
And-
gonna blame all of this on you.
and
Clarence.
right as this,
Clarence, get out of my head.
you're rolling a critical failure.
Of course I did. Why? That's obviously what
Okay.
happened.
That's, yeah.
As this happens, poor Callaway finds himself caught unawares as you see Zacharias raise his finger to his mouth and go, as he will cast Hush, and he will gain shell power. So we will cast this. His chance to
Can a
cast.
full-on spell? Oh god.
He is 70%. That is a 62. You lose the power of speech as your lips are suddenly stitched shut.
Frick.
Fuck Christ, man.
That brings us to Brian.
Oh.
On the back of the horse, as the two of you are heading, you can feel the sand, the mud kicking up as you're moving between the reeds trying to get away. You turn around, you see all this that's going on growing more and more and more distant. Is there anything that you wish to do?
I'm gonna ready one of my vials that I made up to force feed someone, and just have it on hand in case I feel any bad thoughts coming in.
Okay. You have your arm looped around Birdie as you've got it in hand. You're looking back and you're heading away from Minuet, and that brings us to. Excuse me. That brings us to Felix. Felix, what would you like to do?
How far away is Zacharias from me?
He is 12 yards.
Oh, frickin' A. I want to get within 1 yard of him by
What's your movement?
7.
Okay.
So I'm gonna hustle twice.
Okay. You hustle forward once, and that's when you realize that Callaway is standing right in front of you. As you close the distance, as you are 2 yards away from Zacharias, Callaway is blocking the way.
Well, I can still move 14, and he's 12 away. So
There's a
Okay.
very, very narrow jetty that he's on. There's no moving past Callaway unless you wish to shove him in the water.
yeah,
Okay.
I believe in him. He'll be fine.
Okay. So he comes forward and knocks Callaway into the water, closing the distance. You want to be 1 yard away, you said, from him?
Yeah,
Okay. And what do you want to do now?
I want to attack him with my bullwhip.
Okay, so it's 1 AP to hustle, 1 more AP to close the distance. We'll assume you knock him. Ugh, get out of the way. Whoa, psh, falls in the water.
I got this, man.
And you're hitting with the whip?
Yep.
Okay.
Hopefully your mouth.
This test
being
is
stitched up,
routine.
doesn't hurt
Critical
you being able
success.
to breathe.
Hey!
Oh!
Well, snap! Are you going to use a chokehold
I
or a
am supposed to
takedown?
have chokehold.
Okay. Zacharias is holding on to the rope. And as this is happening, as you're looking toward the side, you realize Sergeant Winterhalter's boat is about to moor up to the jetty. As you see it coming moving a very steady clip, and you can see Sergeant Winterhalter, he's running across the deck, and he grabs a hold of a crossbow, a huge arbalist, and he cranks back a bolt as he's running back toward the prow. But he's not quite there yet. So,
Let's see. He'll also take 7 peril as a result of that chokehold.
perfect. So that will means that Zacharias, he is unhindered. He is still holding the chokehold, but he is unhindered by that.
That's fine.
Not quite enough to choke the life out of him. So, that now brings us to Marie. Marie is fighting against the animal in the streets as Hans is up on her, and Ludo's kind of beginning to close the distance. Marie rolls to the side, pulls out this stiletto, and throats the animal. And we'll do. 7. Okay, Hans is now moderately wounded. Roll d6 cast die. Let's see if it actually injures him. Unfortunately not. Okay, so, Kozel, it's your turn.
Do I need to resist out of this?
You do. It's the first thing you need to do. Is so your resistance is a standard athletics.
Fuck, I don't. That's gonna be a 43. 27.
Nice. You somehow you summoned your inner strength. You drop to the ground, up on all fours, and come back up on 2 feet.
Okay. Is that did that take an AP to do that?
0 AP to resist.
Fuck. Yeah, I see the asshole with the crossbow bolt getting ready to fire at us.
You do.
Cack-handed grasp.
How many reagents do you have for cack-handed grasp?
I don't know. Matt never made me take count.
Roll a d6 chaos die.
Got it.
Let's see how many you have.
2. So I
this is the
used
last
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, I think,
So it's-
worthwhile.
Winterhalder comes up and he gets to level across with a fire at Felix and boom, he drops it and you just twang. The arrow, the bolt goes sailing near us. It strikes the nearby the standing masthead, and he falls to the ground in a clatter of mail and armor as his helmet rolls across the deck of this speedboat, or this speedboat, of this ship that's coming down, ready to moor up right where Felix is.
So that was an AP to cast that.
That's right.
I think you said I was 6 yards from. How far am I from Zachariah?
You are currently 6 yards away.
Okay, my movement is 6, so I'm going to go ahead and move up to Zachariah.
In order to do that, you will have to move past Felix. Felix is 1 yard
That's
away.
No.
Unless you want to get between Felix, you
I
can get
don't.
between Felix and Zacharias if you wish.
I don't want to fuck up what Felix is doing, so I'm going to move up behind Felix, and I'm going to.
So you're 3 yards.
I'm going to bank my last AP.
Okay.
Just in case.
Just in case. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be there to give Felix moral support from directly
Okay.
behind him, and that's where I'll end my.
Meat shield
Right.
support would be appreciated.
So from your perspective, Clarence, Ludo, the one man with the one eye, the short fellow, he has his crossbow, and you see him quickly clank, clank, clank as he uses arbalist speed. He is successful. He levels the bow and twang, pulls it toward Marie. His chance is 75. And he hit her, but how hard? He hit her. And she will suffer. Marie is lightly wounded as it strikes chink her mail armor.
Is she currently being savaged by a dog?
Yes.
Okay.
Hans's turn now, who just got throated by Marie. The dog leaps back out, snapping toward her for a 45% chance of success. He does not hit. Birdie, it's your turn. You're still riding along you can feel the sand of the silt kicking up as you're moving through the reeds and you're coming through the wood. And that's when you notice something.
Oh, great.
Somewhere out in the forest, the trees begin swaying with the wind somewhere above the tree line. All the tall kind of pine trees are moving, and you can hear the spines rattling against one another as the trees are beyond the walls, and you're almost to the palisade to escape outside if you to skirt along the shore where you can see a fisherman not far from here.
Okay.
You want to continue along the way?
Continue to the fisherman. Does the fisherman have a bow?
He's got a fishing pole. He's got a little tackle box in his hand.
Keep going.
Okay. As you pass by the fisherman, he's wearing a rain slicker, and you can see the reflection of red eyes beneath the hood as you pass by him. Now we come to Zacharias, who is currently,
Just night vision goggles.
not doing anything. So I think what he's going to do in this case.
What he's doing?
He's got to resist.
He's got to resist my choke.
Oh, that's right. Let's do that.
And he
His
gets
chance.
a clinch fighter. He gets a minus 10
20.
base chance.
Nice. So his chance will be 50%. So 50-50. It's a 52. I think I'll use that misfortune point to reroll. Let's see what happens. 16. He pulls himself out of the whip at this point, and he will. He gets out of the car. That's right. He ghost rides the whip. He will withdraw from his satchel a liar's tongue held in a jar, and as he slams it down, his face begins to melt away and change. His chance to succeed, engaged, is probably going to be 60, but he'll channel for one additional two.
Just to be fair, he's not engaged with me. I'm a yard away.
But there's a porcupine.
No, it's not doing anything. It's just causing hard terrain.
Aw.
And I think because,
It only
thank you for
causes
being
hard terrain to
honest,
his enemies.
that will make it a 70 because he's just going to channel for one step. 73! His spell, unfortunately, fails.
Unfortunately.
Yes, unfortunately so. That's right.
I'm gonna taunt him.
He actually has to roll initial chaos die because he has a full personality. Something bad just happened. I just rolled 6 on the chaos die. Only because it seems to make sense. Joe, go ahead and roll percentile dice for me. Sure. What do we got?
55.
55.
Pretty good. Mm-hmm.
55, you said?
Yep.
Okay.
Could be bad for everyone.
Any metal on you?
On my character medal?
Yes.
Let's see. He has a holy symbol, which I assume is made of metal.
Any metal on you?
Kozel's
Any
got.
coins?
Yeah, money too.
I've got some coinage. I do have a quiver of arrows, which I would presume have metal.
A woodsman's axe with an axe head.
Arrows.
Yeah, just my arrows, I think,
Okay.
and coins.
So at this point, your pouches are pulling in the air, and your arrows are kind of flying toward him. Like he's suddenly magnetized as all the coins are pulled forth from your pouch, and all the coins are pulled forth from your pouch, and your woodsman's axe sticks to him, and all the arrows are drawn away as they kind of are magnetized to him as he's permanently magnetized due to his chaos manifestation. It does not cause any damage, but you lose all those metal items off your character.
Oh, that sucks. Hey, man, like those are mine.
So Zacharias' turn is over, and Franz will continue to attack.
Does that affect the guard guy on the ship?
I'm sorry?
'Cause,
No, they're not close enough.
Yeah.
God, that would have been
Unfortunately.
So all of a sudden, a
It
giant
is.
reeve smashes in.
Franz's turn! Go, Franz, go! We'll attempt to attack Clarence. 65% chance.
Oh no.
31, that's a hit! He will do 4 plus 2, 6 damage.
Okay, I am seriously wounded.
And you also
shit.
need to resist a takedown. Make a coordination test. This test is standard.
Standard coordination.
Please, Clarence, don't die.
That's 40% chance to succeed. And that's a 6. That's a success.
Okay. You're not pulled off your feet, but roll 1d6 chaos dice if you're injured.
That's a 6.
Serious injury? Pick a card! Any card you like.
Now I feel
What injury
bad.
do you
Skull
suffer?
fracture.
Oh shit!
Crunch.
Flip
I
through
don't
results
know.
to fail all skill tests.
Oh no.
Oh.
The dog
That's
grabs him by the
awful.
back of the head. You hear this snapping sound in your head. You gain 3
I'll
corruption.
take a fate. Use a fate point for that one.
I'm gonna skip your injury. Okay. Alright. No corruption then. Love it. Alright. 0 fate points left.
I like to
Okay.
live dangerously.
That's right. I'm living on the edge! Clarence! Speaking of which, it's your turn.
So the dog is still on me, right?
Yes. Tis engaged with you, sire.
I will draw my sacrificial dirk and attack it. With a
You
standard
have a
attack.
sacrificial.
It is a standard test.
Okay. Okay, so that's going to be a 45% chance to succeed. And that's 42 success.
Nice. Roll damage.
Ooh, 5 damage.
That's enough. Moderately wounded. Roll d6 cast die.
That's a 6.
Oh. The blow strikes true as you stab it right through the ear into the skull. As you withdraw it, Franz is killed.
Awesome.
Nice.
Really.
Very good.
So, that is
1 AP.
2 AP.
2
1 to
AP.
draw,
Okay.
1 to attack.
Alright. I guess I'll cast Magic Missile then.
Okay. The darkness.
At the dark.
So the other dog is still on Murray, right?
It is, yes. How many silver darts do you have? Roll 1d6 cast die.
Okay. 6.
You have 6
Ooh.
dice. Nice. 6.
Alright.
6 knives. So, your chances to attack.
This is a incantation test.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's going to be standard.
Standard. Okay, that's 60% chance to succeed. Wait, no, 70. 60. 60. That's a 12. That's a success.
Okay. You see that, of course, Clarence just throws the knife in the air. Strikes true. Roll damage.
That's 11 damage.
Whoa. It is grievously wounded. Roll d6 cast die.
3.
No injury. That will bring us to Callaway. Callaway, what do you do? Come out of the water?
Yeah.
Okay. You grab a hold of the side of the dock and you kick your legs in the water, and for 2 AP you come out of the water and you position yourself between Felix and Zacharias. The statues are up beside you. The boat is against the dock. You
Ugh.
see Sergeant Winterhalter drop to the ground, ugh, and he disappears behind the prow. But there are 2 other Marines who have drawn their weapons and are getting ready to come on to the dock along the other side and block you off from getting back to shore.
Okay. But I'm next. I am next to Zacharias and the statue.
You are.
That's a tough call.
Is this
You've
like
already
a
got
thing, like an active, ongoing thing?
Knock it down, baby.
I'm gonna stick with what my original idea was. You already have him in like the.
Well, I
He
have.
broke
Had.
free. He broke
Had.
free.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like he pulled that thing out and he did some creepy juju on you that like lifted you up all Exorcist style, man.
That was me.
No,
Yeah.
like but like the whole chokehold
Yeah,
thing.
man, that was
yeah.
fucked up.
I don't trust creepy juju statue.
I'm not gonna argue with that logic
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Boots
I-
that shit in the water.
Like I can't talk obviously, but just with scowling eyes, I stomp creepy juju
Challenging
statue.
test.
Okay.
He's protecting it.
I'm sure he is.
How many fortune points? 3 left in there? Still 3? Sure we'll try?
Yes.
Do it,
Yeah,
do
I
it,
do.
Callaway.
Fuck this guy.
Give me the misfortune I desire. What'd you roll?
I rolled 48, which does succeed.
Okay. BAM! You kick the statue. It drops into the water. Zacharias is not happy about this. You have 2 action points left. Or no, I'm sorry, you used 2 to get out? You
Yeah,
have
because
1
I had to
kick
pull
it.
out. That's why I was
Can
like,
I kick it? Yes, you can. All right. So Callaway, your turn is over. Brian. You pass by the fisherman who has the not red burning eyes, but like when you look at a cat, like in darkness, it kind of flash.
Yeah.
And you.
I'll
Birdie
say
didn't see it.
Birdie didn't see it.
Only you saw it.
Like,
Come to me.
I think there's something fucky about that fisherman. I don't
good.
like how he looked at us.
He's creeping.
I'm gonna watch behind us and see if he is tracking us.
He turns around, with kind of a simple-looking fellow watching you walk by. What's going on? He scratches his beard. Don't trust him. The flash in the eyes is gone. It was just a trick of the night.
Kill him, maybe.
Hmm.
Maybe you are Bob Newhart and this is all a dream instead of a snowflake.
Yeah. Oh,
You're
no.
still in bed right now.
Yeah, but I'll wake up again.
It's on your back.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm gonna keep watching him, and
Okay. They're growing smaller and smaller, and the further more distance you put between you and the others. Felix.
can I
Sorry.
can I spend an AP to do inspiring words?
Only to those who are within earshot. So to her?
Hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Does it affect me as well? or
Yep,
is it
sure does.
Okay.
Yeah. How will you inspire her? What words will you share to inspire both of you?
But I'll be
Don't
saying I
fuck
think this is
this
the
up.
right thing to do, and I hope we don't die.
What's your damage condition track currently?
My damage? I'm undamaged.
So you're okay. So unharmed.
Yeah, unharmed.
Okay, your chances to succeed at a leadership test are 13.
Okay. Oh, shit.
I got this. We got this. We got it.
We can do it.
Yeah, baby.
Go us.
64. I don't think I have it. Yeah.
That's 1 AP.
Wait, no, it's. No, I don't. Yeah. I can reattempt it, right?
You absolutely can, but the chances get worse. Now it's standard test.
That's fine. Might as well.
I said I hope we don't die.
Listen to me.
I got it that time.
Nice.
35.
So both of you will temporarily increase your damage and peril condition tracks by +1. Cool. All right.
Cereal.
Question I had for you on that.
Yes.
Do those stack if multiple people do them?
No.
Or just, you only go once?
Just once. That's right. Otherwise, you could just continuously inspire one another.
There's
Yeah.
some people that
Well,
can do
it's
like a
limited.
critical version.
It does say that it's limited to once per
yeah.
combat, and I wasn't sure
That's
if that was per player or per.
Yeah. Just per combat.
Okay.
As a whole. Good question, though. So,
I feel inspired.
that now brings us to Felix. Felix! Standing between you and Zacharias is Calloway, who punts the statue into the water. Kasploosh.
Nice. Standing right behind me is Kozel.
Yep. You are a sandwich.
And along the ship are these two crooked reeves who accompanied Sergeant Mutterhalder earlier along the boat, not more than 24 hours ago, and they're armed with military pikes. And they have a pistol at their waist, and they are wearing military attire and ringmail armor. And they're looking like they're gonna block you off from the shore unless you try to get there first. Because you're on the small jetty. They're gonna pincher you in. What will you do?
Damn. I can't move unless I shove somebody out of the way. Or I suppose I can jump in the water.
I think you spend 2 AP to maneuver past him.
I can do that.
Yeah. But you only move 1 yard. Then you can spend another AP to hustle, if you wish to do so. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Or just shove Calloway in the water again.
You know what? I'm gonna shove Calloway in the water.
Get out of it! Wait, actually you can't because that's the wrong way you want to go. So it's you, Calloway, Zacharias, and it's you.
Well, I want Zacharias.
Okay.
I've got an idea.
Okay.
It's a fun idea, and I love it.
So you want to throw Calloway out of the way?
Yep.
Calloway! Sploosh!
Sorry, man.
I'm sorry.
It's alright, man.
I'm gonna attack
Chaos
Zacharias with my
Line,
whip.
martyrdom.
Okay. Ha! Snap. This is going to be a standard test.
Standard. That's gonna be a success.
Okay.
But I assume he'll have the ability to parry before resisting.
No, only resist.
Okay.
Yep.
In which case he's gonna have to
minus
resist
10.
my chokehold, and
Choco.
he will have to flip to fail.
Nice!
Yes.
So his chances are 50.
He also gets a -10 because of my clinch fighter.
Yeah, I rolled 54. He didn't get it.
Good.
Or did he? Let's find out with that misfortune point. Fail, not good. That's a 59, turns into an 85. He didn't succeed.
Bad.
Yes.
Ah,
Get
you
him,
got him
monkey
again.
king.
He's caught in a chokehold. How much peril does he suffer?
He's gonna suffer. Oh, the barrel. Was my brawn bonus? So that's
Uh-huh.
22.
Wow.
Felix.
Did
Yeah,
you?
clinch fighter gives me a 1d10 additional peril. to my
That's right.
chokeholds.
That's right. That's what'll change the game there. So, 22 will do
That's
it.
the other reason we're buddies. We're both clinch fighters.
Poor Zacharias. Poor Zacharias. 22. He is -1 skill break. Okay.
And with him in my grasp,
Mm-hmm.
I want to jump off the jetty into the water and pull him with me.
Okay.
There you go.
So keep in mind that when you do this, you will relinquish your chokehold. Once
So
you
long
hop
as he
in
gets into the water with me.
Oh, he'll be in the water with you.
Good.
Okay. So yank, he pulls as hard as he can as he leaps into the water. Sploosh. And Zacharias, sploosh, comes into the water as well. As Felix and they're all in the water now. Marie's turn.
So ridiculous.
The good thing is that Franz is dead, and Marie will, at this point, load one of her pistols. But it will not be loaded in time for her to fire. However, as this happens, Winterhalter stands up. Coming up off of the boat, he's looking around. He spends he got up for 2 AP because he didn't have a coordination test. He will kind of, what's he have on him? I'm not sure. Let's find out. Oh, yes. He walks over, pulls out a crop and eat. It's a swagger stick. And he will disembark from the boat onto the dock behind you. And as he disembarks off the dock, then comes the 2 Reeves. One armed with, as I mentioned before, a military pike. The other leaves his pistol. So it'll cost him 1 AP to disembark, and then he will take his military pike, and he will strike over Winterhalter toward you. As the weapon has reach.
God damn.
And his chances to hit are 50%. As one of the Crooked Reeves stabs down. It's a 26. I believe you retained an action point, didn't you?
I did. So
What do you have in hand to parry with?
Shit, I don't have anything in hand.
Oh no! So no parrying.
Yeah.
You're going to suffer
Cast
6
spells.
plus 7 damage.
I can handle that. That does move me down to lightly wounded.
That's right. As this happens, the other Reeve levels his gun toward you and pulls the trigger toward you. Not toward you. Toward you. Pulls the trigger as you're
Gloving away.
Yeah. I'm in the water, I'm not swimming yet! If he hits, he gets additional fury die for damage because you're prone. Chance is 70%. And that's a 39. And unfortunately, Felix is shot and suffers 6 plus 7, 8, 9, 10. And he'll spend an additional action point to add punishing on top of that. 11 damage. Boom! He fires at Felix.
11 damage. Now, when I meet a damage threshold number...
You must exceed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I exceed only 1. Now I'm moderately wounded.
Alright, let's see if you suffer any injuries. Roll chaos die for Jim.
You got it. That's a 6.
Sorry, bud. Pick a serious injury. Any serious injury for Felix.
No, I won't, because I'm spending my fate point.
Ah! Okay.
God damn.
You spend your fate point to live another day, or at least not to suffer an injury. Which is good.
Yeah, we'll talk about living another day later.
Kozel! It's your turn!
How many action points will it cost for me to board the ship?
2.
2. I will use 2 action points to board the ship.
You hop aboard the ship. You're on it. You can see his arbalest crossbow lying on the ground. It's already been... When he dropped it...
I want to look around for light source. I want to look for a source of fire.
Well, there is right along the prow of the ship this kind of swinging lantern.
Could I looking at it, do I think I could get my hands on that? Not this turn necessarily, but maybe next turn?
Spend 2 action points, yes.
Alright, I'm going to move towards it with my remaining action point, and that's where I'm going to end my turn.
He comes up and he readies to pull the heavy lantern off.
I'm going to light this fucking boat on fire.
Oh, baby.
And now, we go to Ludo. Ludo is trying to dispatch of Marie as he closes the distance and lashes out with 2 blows of the knife. First one is 65. That's a 85. It's a miss. He slashes twice, but Marie escapes by the skin of her teeth. Hans the pup. Hans the pup will attack Marie. 50 hits. Marie shakes it off as she has mail on. Marie remains lightly wounded, which is good. Birdie, you come to the edge of the forest, and the trees are shambling and shaking, and you realize that you're not alone. There are people standing amid the hills, hiding behind trees, walking across the soil, barefoot, wearing these loose, rough-spun shifts, as if they've been called to this place as something terrible is about to befall Minuet. What will you do? You're gonna ride past them out into the wood. The woods are dark and full of terrors, and you have no light.
And there might be rats.
Spiders.
That's the worst part.
What will you do?
Should have grabbed the lantern.
We've no light! Birdie.
How far away are we from the people?
Maybe 5 or so yards, but you realize the clear cutting in the wood ends about 5 yards out when it's just thick forest. There's no paths out there. You'd have to go through the woods at a pretty slow pace to make your way through. Because the way the sandy shore ends terminates at these kind of low rolling hills that are mostly rocky, like bluffs that drop off into the river.
I assume you have a belt on you.
A belt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to tie it around me? And take this torch.
Okay.
That way you have your hands free.
So,
That
cool.
vial in one hand and the torch in the other.
So you want to light the torch, give it to him?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Birdie and Brian are still escaping.
We're trying to.
This brings us to Zacharias. Let's see if he can. Oh, he's actually in the water. Okay. Yeah. So, poor Zacharias. You see it, he begins to swim out into the water away from the dock, and he goes underwater.
Oh,
Excited.
Well,
He says
that's
nothing.
right.
He simply disappears behind the water, or below the water. Franz has been killed. Clarence,
I am not in the engagement on the dock, am I?
you are not.
Okay. I'm gonna use the hustle to move 6 yards towards the engagement with
Marie Ludo.
Yeah.
Okay. You see the flashing of blaze, the blasting of gun smoke, a dog snarling as it is killed. What will you do? It's 1 AP.
I will cast magic missile on Ludo.
Okay. Your chances are hard
Hard.
because you are using it into melee.
Okay. Alright, so my chances to succeed are 40. I'm gonna channel power.
How many steps?
3.
So it's 50,
70.
60, 70% chance to succeed, and roll 3d6 along with it. Roll them all at the same time. And additional d6, I believe, too, if you're a cultist. I know you don't roll additional d6, but you do chaos manifestations on 1s and 6s, I believe.
That's an 87.
So that's not a success.
Yeah.
Misfortune.
I did roll 1. The whole thing is being rolled, right?
No, just your percentile.
Okay, so 1. I did have a chaos.
Misfortune beholds
There is
you.
a chaos manifestation then. That is a 92.
Failure.
Oh,
Roll percentiles
man.
one more time. Let's see what kind of manifestation happens.
69.
59.
No, 59. 59.
You tapped far too deeply into the subtle warped and weft of the magic. You'll add additional 1d6 cast die whenever you channel in the future.
Okay. 1d6.
Sorry. That you did not succeed your test.
Alright, so that's 3 AP.
Callaway,
Didn't do anything.
it's your turn. You're in the water. You see Zacharias drop below the water some number of yards out as he swam away.
Well, I mean, can I make a but it's nighttime. I doubt I can really make out where he's going.
A little difficult. Unless you can see in the dark.
I can't, but at the same time, like that seems to be the big. If he gets away, this is all just going to happen again later.
Yeah.
So,
You drop below the water?
of course, because you know, the unlit pat is the most dangerous.
What is your brawn bonus?
It is 7.
7. Okay, so you can hold your breath for up to 7 minutes.
Long ass time.
That is a
Yeah.
long time.
Always a sturdy
22
old
minutes is the
soldier.
human limit. Or the human is the longest one's ever held their breath.
So I will do my best to make face.
He thinks the darkness is his ally.
Not far off.
Always very brave, not necessarily very bright.
It's a
Okay.
great combination.
It's like kind of
Okay, perfect. Callaway, you drop below the water. Sir. That brings us to Grind.
Alright.
You got the lit torch.
Yeah, I have the torch.
You've got the poultice in the other hand.
So how many people about do we see?
4 in your immediate vicinity. They're kind of descending down from the loamy earth and knots of the trees and moving through the forest.
Do they seem to be facing us?
They do. And they seem to be mostly nude.
But
Oh.
of course.
Ooh,
Oh man.
very
Mostly.
exciting. Hey,
Hereditary.
Oh, fuck
Probably.
that goddamn movie.
You can hear this chanting out in the wood as you can see their mouths moving.
That's
Listen,
nasty, too.
nudists. Your
Yeah.
modesty won't save you.
Yeah. What were you wanting me to do with the... Did you say what you were wanting me to do with the belt?
Oh, well, no, I just figured if you tied it around me, you wouldn't have to worry about holding on.
Oh, right.
You know, stability and all that.
Okay.
You want to fix the belt around here?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. You loosen several knots and notches and
Mhm.
wrap it around her, and you're heading through the forest. So that will bring us to Felix. You're in the water.
What all can I spend what all can I spend fortune points on?
Well, you can spend fortune points on gaining an additional action point. You can spend a fortune point to
Reroll.
reroll. You spend a fortune point to
Go one step up the damage condition track if you take a damage.
That's right. Move one step of the damage condition track or peril condition track, entirely up to you.
All right. Well, I'm gonna try to swim out to where he was
Okay.
and go down after him.
Okay. What's your brown bonus?
Brawn bonus is 4.
Okay. All right.
Tag team.
He drops beneath the water. It's dark and murky, and you can't see anything below the water. Marie's turn. Marie turns to you and she hisses as you cast your terrible magic. She says, "Don't worry about me, get the stone!" As she and Ludo are engaged in this fracas in the mud. She's covered in mud and blood, and Ludo is too, who's half her size, the missing eye, and lashing out with both knives in the night, and she's lunging forward with her own pistol on fire, and then she draws this sword and a terrible arc of a slash in front of it, and in front of Ludo, and does nothing. "To the stone," she says. Winterhalder. Hi. Winterhalder is still on the dock, and I believe the only person on the dock at this point is...
I'm on the ship.
Oh, that's right, you're on the ship. Winterhalder will...
I'm in the water.
He's by himself.
I'm giving chase to a
He will
douchebag.
turn around toward the Reeve, who is at his side. And he will withdraw the pistol from his belt for 1 AP. He will take aim at the lantern. Boom! And he pulls the trigger above your head. His chances to strike are 60.
He's like, I'll beat you to it.
Oh, 26.
Oh no.
The oil spills all over Kozel.
Yes.
The lantern only does
You can jump for it. Like
5
everyone else.
damage, but ignores any armor you have.
Okay.
Looks like you get it.
I do. That puts me just down 1 to moderately wounded.
Roll 1d6 chaos die.
I got 1.
Oh,
for-
your armor,
Sorry,
yeah,
4.
yeah.
Roll 1d6 chaos die.
Fuck. that's
And
6.
you're on fire
Fuck.
as Kozel suffers. Oh no.
Mm.
A 10 damage.
Alright, that moves me down to seriously.
Roll 2d6 chaos dice.
Okay.
Okay, so point of clarification on fire damage. If you continue rolling 6s, you continue suffering fire damage at that point. So, word the wise.
Do not catch on fire.
I'm on
Yeah.
fire though
Or
right
flip
now.
side.
You're on,
Sit
yes,
your
you're on
enemies
fire
fire.
currently. That is right.
Oil fire.
So the Reeve with the military pike, who had his pistol pulled out of his belt, will take it. And he will throw it toward you as an improvised weapon,
Yeah.
which will be a 40% chance. That's 28. Do you have any action points to parry or dodge?
No, I used them all to get up to that lantern.
That's right. So his damage
And I don't have
he'll
a weapon
deal
out
is
either, so-
3 plus 6 damage.
Alright, I'm down to grievously.
Roll 3d6. Kozel.
Things are looking bad. Pretty
Dark
weird.
and smiled.
No injury.
Alright.
So remember that you may use a fortune point, and this is actually I forgot to mention this. You can use a fortune point at any point in time, right after you suffer damage specifically, to go 1 step up the damage condition track positively, or peril damage, but it must be done immediately thereafter.
Do you want to do it now?
Otherwise, people will use it at the end of the game session and cheat the fortune system.
Yeah, I got 2 fortune points. I'll go ahead and take one of those. Or 2 fortune or fate.
So fate points allow you to ignore injury or death only,
Okay.
not
So-
damage. But if you want to go 1 step up the damage condition track, you can spend a fortune
That
point.
Yeah, I do need to do that.
I'll take that as fortune.
Yeah.
Any
Oh, sorry.
any fortune points left?
We're
Nope,
all
we're
out.
out.
So there are no fortune points remaining.
I've got one.
You've
Oh,
got
you
your
got
got
one.
lucky one. That's for you also.
That moves me back up to seriously wounded.
That's
All
right.
I need is
That's
my
right.
hand around that son of a bitch's throat.
The other Reeve who fired his pistol earlier begins to reload as his eyes are locked with you. He's-
How on
Kozel.
fire am I? Like, I'm like covered?
You only need to spend 3 action points to put yourself out.
I don't want to put myself out.
Okay, so if you don't put yourself out, you will suffer another 2d10 plus 2 damage.
At the end of the turn or the start of the turn?
Start.
Fuck, I'm going to take that risk.
I believe in you.
Madman.
believe in you. Okay. Oh, 17 damage. Oh,
That would move me down to slain, and that calls for a fate point.
that's
Yeah.
right. So you use a fate point and you're still on fire, but you're not killed, so you're made at the same
Damage.
condition
Okay.
you're currently at. That's right.
I go and I hug the shit out of those sails.
You'll need to climb up the masthead for 2 action points.
You got it.
Okay. You fools! He's burning as he's coming up the poles, and he grabs onto the masthead, and he pulls a rope, and suddenly it comes unfurled as it falls around him. The mast is... Well, here's the thing about mastheads for ships. They are usually waxed to make them waterproof,
Can I
which
get-
also makes them very easily flammable.
Fuck.
If you have
Yes.
oil in this case. So, they begin to slowly crackle and singe and pop, but like everything, with the strike of a match, it will start a great fire in just a few moments, as I will now mark a new initiative on the track. And I'll tell you when the boat is on fire.
That escalated quickly.
I'm gonna,
Things are really heating up.
with my last action point, I'm gonna keep hugging the shit out of that,
Okay?
making sure that I share my spicy gift with the ship.
Love it.
Fine.
Ludo is still amid the fight with Marie as they are going at it. 5, so 97 misses. So their attack is 34. He hits her. She is unharmed. She's lightly wounded rather because she has mail on beneath her clothing. And from there we come to Hans, the vicious dog that's also snapping at Marie. 50% chance to succeed. Marie is struck. Marie is now moderately wounded. Ouch. Let's see what roll d6 cast die.
Fuck.
Marie is injured. Roll percentiles for Marie.
God damn. I need to stop rolling.
Yeah.
Chuck, please.
Oh no! Roll them again. That's
Oh,
now not a
that's-
serious injury. It's a grievous injury.
That's
It's
bad.
100.
Oh no!
That's bad.
A 0-1 is Fortune's Mercy, which means she doesn't suffer any injuries.
Oh,
You roll a 100 and then roll a 1.
Beautiful.
Oh my god.
I just want to put it out there. I did that on purpose.
Are you seeing the modern works in mysterious ways?
Mom moves in mysterious. Right, okay. So we come back to Birdie, and you're in the woods, and then you realize that you can hear the chanting, Silky Sin, Silky Sin. The vessel has arrived.
All
The
right.
vessel has come. What do you want to do, Birdie?
We're going back. We're getting as far away from these chances
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
as
whoa, whoa,
possible. Yeah.
So you turn about, hot
Pretty
footing
sure
it
we
back.
could kill all the naked people because it sounds like they don't have any hidden weapons, but still.
They don't have any weapons, but let's see where they are in the initiative track and see if they're able to interfere with what's happening.
9.
So it's 5 plus
Yeah.
6, so 11. The good thing is they will go.
After Brian.
They'll go. Is it 11? What if they go after Marie? Occultists. Oh baby. Okay, so Bert, you turn around and
Oh,
head back
yeah,
in.
Yeah.
Nope.
You see no sign of Zacharias where you're all at, and the other thing that Felix and Calloway can see is
Well, no
darkness.
part of that.
So Clarence, it's your turn.
Let's see here. So we have. Wow. Okay.
You guys, you can't leave. There's naked people.
They're really easy to kill.
So we have the the knight is in the engagement with. Or he shot the.
Well, here's the thing. You're nowhere near that because you're near Ludo and.
But I can see what's
Marie.
going on, right?
Marie. You can from here, yes.
Okay.
But if you're on a roll warfare test, I will give you the answer you're seeking, and you'll spend an action point.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes, it is further down the twisting, muddy road, and there's a mist because it is night, and it's near the river, the humidity, and the cold. It's hard to make things out down there. It's a little hazy.
Okay. I guess I will ignore Marie's direction and continue to attack Ludo
Okay. With
magic missile.
okay, are you marking off your reagents?
I am actually. Yes.
Okay. Your chances are hard again.
Hard. Okay.
Because
So
he
that will
is
be a
engaged with
40%
Marie.
chance to succeed. I will channel power 3 times.
And you must add an additional d6 because you overpowered.
70% chance to succeed.
Even more chaos manifestations.
That is a success, though.
Nice. Roll damage.
Okay.
This time you throw the knife to the left. He goes from behind you and strikes him true.
15 damage.
Nice.
God damn.
Ludo. The arrow sings around you and whistles past your ear behind you as you strike him. How much was that again?
15.
15. Holy shit. Okay. Well, he is moderately wounded now, but remember,
It's magic. so
magic
it
does
doesn't-
no injuries unless it indicates otherwise. And usually when it does indicate otherwise, it's usually some sort of other effect like bad stuff. Be sure to write down 3 corruption and roll percentiles for your chaos manifestation.
That's a 14.
Ugh.
Not too bad.
Featherbeard. Suddenly you feel your hands and fingers frozen into natural positions as they're kind of arranged like this, and they're held in place as you cannot move your fingers for 3 hours out of this position, which will make your chance to succeed flip to fail.
Okay.
Incantation test. Anything you use your hands for.
Mm-hmm.
You need one hand free.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need for casting.
All right.
So that will now bring us.
I guess I'll thank my last 2 AP.
Costs 1 to channel and 1 to cast. So
Or,
it's-
okay, yeah.
that's right. So you bank your
I'll
last
bank
one.
my last AP, yeah.
Cowboy. It's been a minute. You let loose some bubbles, and it's dark and murky. So she hears that kind of echoing sound, like if you're beneath the water, like it sounds of water in your ears. It sounds a little bit like this. In fact, the sound of the music, the sound of being underwater, and you can't see anything. Like you can see nothing at all. It's too dark. It's pitch black out.
Excellent. That's just great.
What do you want to do?
It's kind of like blind faith at this moment. Like things have gone beyond reason.
That's right.
Like at the point that there's like weird cultists and like demons and like statue in the water. And I'm gonna go in that direction.
Okay. Roll d6 chaos die. Roll space 6.
Powers of darkness.
I hate you, Clarence. I reject the darkness, and so I'm.
I cast magic missile of darkness. Brian,
Yes.
she turns about, and you have your belt strapped to her, and the torch is burning. You have the poultice in her hand. She's heading back toward the fisherman, who's gone.
Oh.
He's disappeared.
Are there any like ropes there?
No,
probably naked in the woods as we
you can just see the muddy footprints of the horse where she stormed through.
That's good, I guess.
The mud is kind of caked on your legs and along your face.
I'm yelling, I'm nobody's fucking vessel. As I ride away, waving my torch at them.
Feelings? About yourself. You're beneath the water, it's dark.
I'm swimming down in the direction that I was going. I'm going after this guy.
Roll d6 fury die. Chaos die.
3.
Okay. Heading that direction, heading that way. Marie's like, fly, you fool, fly! She says, get to the stone, you idiot! As she, at this point, she has her pistol in one hand and her sword in the other, and she storms toward Ludo, and she brings her sword down.
And ruins the fight.
75 is a hit. He will attempt to parry. Grab the dice roll, please. Thank you. Ludo raises both daggers to try to parry, and he parries successfully. Shing! And he slides back in the mud as she's kind of muscling into the blow. And as she does this, boom! She pulls the trigger of the gun right in his face for her follow-up attack. 85%. 12. Blam! No dodging gunpowder. So that's 6 plus 5, 11. Ludo was now seriously wounded. Roll 2d6 cast die for me, Chuck. She injures on 5 and 6.
Nope.
Okay, no injuries for Ludo. Okay, that brings us to the occultists in the woods, who you can no longer see. Sergeant Winterhalder. Key. Out of fan. Comes with a little water. Onto the deck. Wet to the bone. And he's already on the deck, my apologies. He already came out. He had fired the gun at you, and you're now on the ship. So he goes over to the ship's moorings. He will drop the pistol for 0 action points. He will pull forth a boot knife and begins cutting the mooring ropes.
Oh shit,
And
he
he
pushed the boat off.
Cuts one mooring rope free, and he kind of takes his boot and he trying to push the boat away from the side of the dock, which will require an arduous athletics test. This test will be 15 for him. 92. I think he'll re-roll that with my misfortune point though. Can he get the boat away? We shall see. 15. 97. He must succeed. He must accept that test. All 3 of his action points have been used. The other Reeve, who's there, who threw the military pike at you as an improvised weapon, is now unarmed because the pistol he had used. Well, actually, his pistol's on the ground. Now I think about it because Sergeant Wilterholder dropped it. However, that's not what he's going to do. He's going to go to the other rope and begin cutting with a boot knife. But he won't be able to do it in time because he doesn't have enough action points to get there. Unless I use this misfortune point. Oh, shit. And as he does so, he will attempt to push the boat away as he cuts the other mooring rope. This will be a 5% chance of success for him. 87. No. They haven't got the boat pushed away yet because the current of the river is pushing it against the jetty. But the ropes are cut at this point, which is good. And Winterhalter turns and says, "Go get the box, you idiot!" As the other Reeve, who is there, hops on top of the boat and begins scurrying across the deck and comes to the captain's quarters and readies to open the door as we turn toward Kozel. Don't put yourself out now.
How far am I from this dude?
Well, he's probably about 5 yards away. And keep in mind, you climbed up the mast.
Moonsault him.
Burning. So the question is, do you want to attempt to put the fire out?
We gotta stop this guy.
So you're not gonna put the fire out. Just to clarify.
I'm gonna risk that damage and not put that fire out.
Jesus Christ. So it's 22 damage from fire.
Okay. That would put me at slain unless I spend my last fate point.
Okay, it's your last fate point.
And with that, I'm going to move to this guy.
So,
on fire.
okay.
I am.
You want to climb down? You want to leap out toward him?
I'm gonna leap towards him.
Okay.
Yes.
I gotta try and bypass
Your
this.
chance. Your chance.
Cross
We will
body.
assume that he is surprised.
Yeah.
So make your chance easy. However, if you miss this,
Attack flaming crossbow. Oh my god.
if you miss this coordination test,
Okay.
you will suffer falling damage,
Okay.
which, by the way, is 1d10 plus 5. So it's 5 yards. You'll be climbed up, leaped out.
26 is my goal.
It's for the easy coordination test.
Easy coordination test. 26.
This is awesome.
59. Fuck.
It's still awesome. At this point, the fire.
You fucked up.
You fucked up. You can't sell. 10 damage.
That moves me back down to grievously wounded.
Oh no!
Roll 2d6 chaos dice. Or, sorry, 3d6 chaos dice.
Oh no! Not today.
No wounds.
So, we'll assume the fire is put out at this point. But keep this in mind. Whenever you suffer falling damage, if you suffer an injury, instead of suffering an injury, you are paralyzed until you're restored to unharmed.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Well.
You don't suffer injuries from falling, you just are paralyzed.
Good thing I didn't take
So-
an injury.
Ooh.
That's where we're at there. And that brings us now to the fire, which now gets its second
Oh my god.
check mark. On the third check mark, the boat will be on fire, the whole deck. Ludo's turn.
Ripperoni.
Ludo's gonna, at this point, Ludo is clearly being attacked by you and by Marie. He's engaged in a fracas with her. He's gonna continue his attack. 65, 36 hits. 55, 36 hits. Oh, explosion.
Uh-oh.
Oh, explosion.
Uh-oh.
16. Uh-oh. Marie is seriously wounded. Roll 2d6 chaos dice check. What happens to Marie?
No.
Oh,
Oh no.
Skull fracture.
Oh.
She was.
And the sad music
That's
started
right.
playing on the speaker.
He slashes out, takes the pommel of the knife, and bats her right in the side of the head, and you see her eyes kind of open and her eyes dilate immediately as she staggers backward. And that was his first attack. 6 plus 9. Marie is grievously wounded. Roll 3d6 chaos dice.
Don't you do it, you son of a bitch.
Nope. 2 5s and a 1.
Okay. Marie is on death's door. And then the dog's turn. 45% chance. 98. Good thing. Birdie, you all close the distance, and you're now riding near where you see Marie grievously wounded as they're on the side of this kind of twisting, muddy hillock. And she's covered in mud and blood, and Ludo, this half her size, is just tearing her to pieces. And he is currently seriously wounded. And not more than just a few yards away is Clarence, who's tossing knives in the air, twisting around and flying through the air and whistling and hitting them. So the question is, what do you want to do, Birdie?
How far away are they from Ludo?
6 yards.
So long
do a
enough that I
drive-by and I'll-
can charge with the horse?
Yeah. You want to just...
There's a thing
Running.
called
I would like to trample that.
yeah, trampling.
She begins... Okay, roll a ride test. This test will be routine. As you will attempt to grab them.
38 will do it.
Nice.
Hell
Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
Well, he has one action point left, but he clearly is going to try to
Dodge
jump
the
out of
horse.
the way. I'm going to jump out of the way, he says. You know, I read this damn thing. You think I know all the rules.
Right.
So, he's going to try to get out of the way.
everyone in the engagement. Or just him?
Well, that's the beautiful thing about this is it's going to be him. That's it. Yep. So, he dodge being trampled. So his chance to dodge is 60%. 96. Roll 1d10 and add your mount's brawn bonus, which is a 6.
Your mount's bonus.
Oh, okay.
Which is also 6.
I have more
10.
brawn than a horse.
10. I believe Ludo is grievously wounded.
Nice.
Would you like to roll 3d6 in this case,
Sure.
Joe?
Yeah.
Let's see if he's injured.
Do it.
No. 1, 2, 2.
No. Unfortunately, no.
Unfortunately.
All right, Zacharias' turn. Clarence. Still, what will you do? Horse
well,
storms forward. Just mud is pattering your face.
Well,
As-
I know my hands are all messed up, but I'm still gonna attempt another magic missile on this guy.
It
to
is
fail.
hard. It is flip to fail for incantation.
I will channel power 3 times.
Roll additional d6 on there too. Remember, you over channel.
Yes.
Chaos.
Alright, so this is hard.
Yeah.
60, brings it down to 40, and then back up to 70. 76, that's a failure.
Okay.
There's a 6, though.
Roll percentiles. Remember, it's 1 and 6 for cold.
28.
28.
In a row?
Suddenly, there's this chittering, the sound of locusts, and the sky darkens as crickets and worms begin to spill forth from the muck and the mud, and frogs begin leaping from the water, and this cloud of locusts begins to fill the sky as everybody suffers peril.
Sounds Sounds about right.
Yeah.
We should.
It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh,
You all suffer 5 mental peril. It's a swarm of a creeping contagion.
I am unaffected.
Crawls across everything.
Any of the NPCs take that too?
They all
Does.
know.
Okay.
Yeah, you're like, everybody does.
Oof.
So, Clarence, that's 2 action points. 1 to channel, 1 to cast.
I guess I'll bank the last one.
Alright, Callaway!
Now, it's true that Calloway may not be the most enlightened man, but he does understand the poetry of the situation. And while somebody once told him that his dooming was the unlit path being the most dangerous, he recalls that upon his person he does have a lantern, which is metal. And he remembers that that bastard is magnetized.
Oh.
You reach into your pouch, you're kind of slowly flailing in the water as you've got the lantern, and you can feel it pulling as you begin swimming through the water.
I will do my best to go in that direction.
Alright.
Fuck
Awesome.
that guy.
That is fucking awesome.
That one guy in particular is
Grind.
gonna get it.
What will you do? You're
I'm
at
gonna
this
attempt
point.
to club the dude with my torch.
You can absolutely do that. Yes, yes, yes. That is going to be an easy, simple melee attack.
Okay. I'm actually
Cavalry's finally coming.
easy.
Easy, simple melee.
Okay. Alright, that's a hit.
Okay.
Okay. So our 1d6, add your bronze and 1d10 for momentum die for attacking on. Sorry, 1 additional d6 damage. Sorry.
Okay, 1d6.
Yeah. So
Plus
2d6
brawn.
plus brawn. Yep.
That is 11.
Okay.
And is there a chance that he gets lit on fire by any chance?
There is a chance, so I need to first determine what's going on for Ludo. 11 damage. Bah! You see his jaw almost snap off his face as he goes spinning, and Ludo is slain as you save Marie. Marie is alive.
Nice.
Ludo is dropped to the ground. As this happens, Hans the dog quickly turns tail, running away.
Turns tail.
That's right.
Of course, thank you.
You saved her!
Oh.
So you have 2
Nice.
action points left.
Alright.
Marie is breathing heavily. Thank you, she says, as she's covered in mud and blood. Get to the stone, she says, to the stone.
Okay.
He can't get it.
Can I do Perilous Stunt, Litany of Hatred on all the baddies that are within earshot?
Unfortunately, you're not close enough to do so.
Okay.
You're still too far away. If you were closer and they could see you and you can see them, that'd be a different story.
Okay.
You hold on to your AP.
Yeah, I might as well just make it.
Felix, you can feel your breath as you were starting. You're not drowning yet.
Yeah, but I'm feeling it.
Yeah. You can feel the tightness in your chest, your lungs.
I gotta get up for air.
All the bubbles on your hot bar went out.
Yeah.
You thrash upward as you've been thrashing through the darkness. Are you going up? Are you going down? Are you going forward? It'd be nice if you could see any light. It's more than starlight. Fortunately, there's enough firelight coming from above where you can see the rippling of kind of golden light above you as you reach toward. You need to make an athletics test. This test is easy.
Easy.
It's a lantern. It's a
I
big
solved so many
lantern.
problems. It's a really big lantern.
We should just set everything.
What am I looking at
I
here?
mean, I've had characters that believe that.
Yeah.
Athletics.
Athletics
Yes.
round.
It's under brawn.
It gets next time.
Alright. 43 plus 20, so 63. What? 36.
Nice. You surface. And you take a deep breath. So Felix is above the water. Marie turns around. She says, "Get to the boat. Can I catch Zacharias? We have to get the stone." As she picks herself up and leaves her pistol behind and begins running. She runs down the muddy road. grievously wounded, staggering because she's still got a head trauma at this point.
Desperation.
The occultists have not entered the scene yet. Sergeant Winterhalder, though.
Oh
They're
man.
gonna try to push that boat away as a 15% chance to do so. 18, so
Ooh.
close.
Ooh.
I think he'll try again for a 5% chance this time. 95, he does not succeed. The other Reeve is on the boat. My apologies. The other Reeve is on the dock trying to push it away. It's a 5% chance to succeed. 75. He doesn't have enough strength in him at this point. And he kind of looks over toward all of you, and he's like, "Oh shit!" So he looks toward the boat that's on fire. He looks toward your boat that is still on shore. There's no other real place to go, so this looks like it's end of line for the Reeves as he will produce his pistol. Boom! And pull and draw and fire toward Birdie. His chance is 55. 74 is a miss. Boom! Whiz past your ear. And that brings us to the other Reeve, who you flailing on the ground. And he goes to the captain's room and he comes out, opens the door, and has a box underneath of his arm, and it looks like it's lead lined.
What's in the box?
He's got the box and he's looking around. He's not really sure what to do. And that brings us to Kozel. You're not on fire anymore. You're just lying on the ground, no more than just a yard away from him. He looks down toward you, and he looks toward the sail that's about to fall on everyone.
Okay. I don't want to stand up.
So if you do not leave the boat now, you will be caught on fire again by the sail. Because this will be the third turn of the sail, which is going to cover the entire boat to catch it all on fire. It's literally all the ropes have burned away. It's about to some spectral flaming thing to fall over everyone.
I lit the boat on fire to keep the Witchstone out of their hands. And I am still committed to stopping the Witchstone. So, rather than spending 2 action points to stand up, I am going to spend an action point to pull out my bullwhip.
Okay.
Because he is a yard away. And then I am going to whip it real
Whip it
goddamn good.
Alright. This will be challenging.
Alright, so simple melee for me, challenging. This is only 24%. 32. I would like to use my remaining action point to go again
Okay.
for 14.
Okay.
Alright. Good vibes. You can fucking do it. You can do it. I didn't do it.
Oh, too bad.
Fucking Christ.
When a problem comes around.
You must flail at it.
As the sail finally comes off the mast, this
If
burning
you don't leave the boat
spectral
now.
bits
Uh,
of burning fire.
Can you like roll or anything into the water?
He has no
That's all my
action
AP.
points.
So, you know,
No.
in the movie, was it Us?
Mhm.
How they used the song, I got 5 on it, but they played
Yeah.
it really slow.
Yeah.
I just want to imagine as this burning sail falls down on Kozel, instead of, it's you must whip it, but played at that really slow, chop and slowed, really creepy. You must whip it as a fiery darkness, a fiery end overtakes Kozel. Because I don't see how he could survive this.
What was his
Really
dooming?
bad rolls. There's a
What was-
chance.
What was Kozel's dooming?
Watch me.
Beware a levered scorn. But the only thing he ever really loved was magic mushrooms. So.
I mean, to be fair, this is like a weird, pleasure demon, and we're preventing it from doing, crazy
No, there
stuff.
we go.
Yeah.
Maybe that could
Oh
tie
yeah,
in.
the Mitch and yeah.
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 There's
Like,
a
you
lover's
just
scorn.
took your dooming to an extreme.
Yeah. You know what? Kozel, you
For the
know.
man willing
What's
to
the
die
most
under
fucked up lover situation I've ever found in my life?
Yeah.
like
This.
And that
combing hair full of
was
blood.
the last we heard of Kozel.
Dang.
As the boat goes up, and you can see that the Reva's and he drops the box, and you see the box begins to turn almost white hot, unnaturally quickly, as there is this between the seams. There's this green light kind of coming out from within it. As something is going on, these green kind of rays of light extending from every direction between the seams of the box at this point. Ludo's been slain.
Wow.
The boat is on fire. Birdie, Ludo is slain, and you're looking around, and Marie's running kind of slow motion toward the ship, and she kind of stops sliding as the fire, and she's pulling away, and you hear this boom sound as the gunpowder kegs on top of it explode, and the top of the captain's ship explodes outward in cinder, in splinter, in wood, on fire everywhere along the river. You see the entirety of the long jetty explode into pieces as all the gunpowder on the ship is exploding at this point. You turn toward the tower and you see Herman as he's blown backward across the top of the tower, landing on his back. Who else was near the jetty? I don't think anyone at this point.
No.
No.
Right.
Roll back and then, or in the water.
What do you
Just
do,
seeing
Birdie?
a bunch of burning splinters and dead locusts falling out of the sky.
All of a sudden, like swimming
What
in pitch
the
black water
fuck?
didn't seem so bad.
I'm feeling like. Okay.
This is
I'm
why we
going to
left.
undo the belt and let him off.
Okay, so that's 2 action points.
And does it take 2 for me to go down too?
2 for you to unlatch it and hop off the horse if you wish to do so.
Yeah. Just like, here's your horseback.
Ha!
Yeah.
What do you want to do now? You have 1 action point left.
I'm gonna bank it for now.
Okay.
I'm hoping that the escapades are
That's
over.
right.
Hoping.
Somewhere on the other side
Let's do chambers.
of the river, there is a shape, a shadow, a wet, sopping wet shadow emerge from the water, crawling up on all fours. And you can see the shape of Zacharias as he takes the statue, fixes it in the mud on the other side of the river, and you see him drop to his knees, and he tears his robes open, and he withdraws this dagger, raising it toward the moon,
Great.
and plunges into his stomach. This is all through the flames and the fire at this point.
No.
And what terrible thing befalls Minuet in the wake of all of this? The explosions on the ship, and the burning on the river, and what's happening in the city is a tale for another time, as we will draw There's Something About Marie to a close.
Oh man.
No, I'm fine with that.
That's it.
Ooh.
That's fucking great.
It's a really tough adventure. In particular, because there's just so much going on on the docks. And then it gets even worse if fire is introduced. Because the first thing that players are going to do is they're going to burn the ship. So you have to produce consequences if the ship is burned. Consequences that make sense, obviously, within the context of the story and what's happening. But it's a really
Also,
tough
for
one
just
to
a chance.
it's a tough one
Just
to
a
quote
chance.
win. There are other ways around it. Obviously, they talk about in the Bakuman Gauche. There's some playtest notes from us playtesting it, but it's a really tough one to win. So that's it.
That was fucking great.
It was fun.
Yeah.
There's something about Marie.
F's in the chat
You're
for Kozel
so you.
now.
Yeah. For now.
Yeah, for now.
So,
Terrified.
100 reward points?
Yay!
R.I.P. Kozel.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
yeah.
Rest in pepperoni.
Girl away from Tafiki, just have your character killed in Kansas
Yeah.
City.
That's alright. I'm good with that.
It was a hell of a death.
Yeah, man.
Just out of curiosity, are you gonna make this like part of your canon, like with the characters? Because you carried your characters in between different stories at this point, right?
Yeah.
Does Kozel somehow survive? Does this really have
Well,
to be Ryan? What are you
Kozel's survival is going to be up to Matt.
feeling? Uh-huh.
Because Matt specifically gave me instructions, don't read something about Marie because I'm going to run it for you.
Yeah.
So that's going to be up to Matt's call there, and I'm good with that.
I'm sure I'll
It's-
run it straight for the book too.
Yeah. But as far as you two, you know, I don't...
I don't think
You know what I'm gonna do?
Huh.
Yeah, I
I've
don't
got
want to do
Three
this.
marks.
I've got a ranking rumor. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to say this happened somewhere else in the world,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna say, oh, yeah, did you hear about the time the Pumpkin King stopped all that
There we
nonsense
go.
down there?
And he just woke up from a dream. None of it was real.
None of it was real. Okay.
I don't know what happened to poor Calloway. Poor Calloway's like,
Yeah.
okay, I use the magnetism. I come up on the shore. What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
That'd be the worst.
Yeah.
Like
I just
coming
have
up
a
on shore
phobia
just
of
as
combs
he's
now.
like stabbing himself. Like,
Yeah.
Phobia, combs.
Yeah.
Oh,
just jump
creepy
right back in the
dreams.
water.
Yeah.
Nope.
Just let
Little
go of the
people.
lantern and
Go ahead and add that as a drawback to your character.
Yeah.
Ludo is a really tough villain too. He's super tough. He doesn't have any. He actually is a potential ally in the game too,
Oh, is
for
he?
you to chase down Marie.
Okay.
Yeah.
You take the
There's
other
a lot of different people who are gonna pulling you different directions within
Well,
the story.
yeah.
I love when we're
And
like,
obviously,
let's get
'cause, like,
deputized. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
kill him.
Half of us were deputized, the other half were
Absolutely.
hired to kill the guy.
What? What about you two? I mean, wait a second.
Well, the murder happened still, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, where's Clarence?
Curb Your Enthusiasm
Oh.
starts playing.
I've made a horrible mistake.
To be continued.
no kidding.
Wait, I remember you, that pumpkin boy from a few towns back.
Who, me?
Yeah, Jack. That's
Ah,
his name.
shit.
That's
My
his
name's
name.
Jack. That's what you said last time, you
Oh,
asshole.
goddamn.
Ah,
It's pretty good.
That was really good. I had a blast.
He is the
man.
vessel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
You should have just been like, yeah, I am. Kill yourselves.
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah.
Get-
Just own up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me,
it'd be
like, some
hilarious
oranges,
if I
please.
was like a cultist or something.
Yeah.
Because I'd want to play into it.
Oh boy.
But no, I'm just some old man apothecary.
An old man collecting baking recipes.
yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah, that's the thing. In this game, that pagan lady, whatever, she was a baker.
But that wasn't part of. When we did the last session, episode 1 was and then episodes 2, 3, and 4 were Night of Blood.
Okay.
So yeah.
So yeah, the opener of your game, the pagan lady was
Pipe.
a
Queen.
baker.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I spent most of that session getting her recipes.
Yeah, chasing this old woman around.
Yeah.
What did you
sweetheart.
get?
What can I do for you, man?
I got apple
What about
tart
this
and cobbler
recipe?
from her.
That's it. Yeah.
And that's the way that I eventually want to deliver my healing potions when I learn how
Is
to
make
Just making them
goods.
into cobbler.
Make
Yeah.
pastries.
Oh my god, I've been shut. Here, have some of this.
All right, so we'll wrap up. Thank you all for watching. Thank you
Yeah.
guys for coming. Obviously, this is all in
It was a
camera.
fucking blast. Thanks for running it,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
It was fun.
Yeah.
We'll do something again next time out your way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you run something for us.
Yeah, I'll run something for you.
Yeah.
Get you a chance.
I'll run something for you.
I'll run
So,
something.
is it a pantsless party, though?
It's always optional.
It's a girl with
You know what?
pants.
The
As long
cameras.
as the cameras stay above the waist.
That's right.
Yeah.
You never know.
You'll never
All right.
know.
See y'all. Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.